Hello friends, good morning. Myself Sumati. Welcome to my channel Edutainment. Friends, today we are going to discuss about National Education Policy 2020, which was approved by our cabinet on 29 July 2020. Friends, already I have discussed with you about National Education Policy and I have mentioned there related like 20 highlighted points from National Education Policy, which covered all the aspect of National Education Policy. Today I am going to discuss with you some principles of National Education Policy. So let's see. Before going to principles, we have to know what is the National Education Policy. This National Education Policy 2020 is the first education policy of the 21st century and aims to address the many growing developmental imperatives of our country. This policy proposes the revision and revamping of all aspects of the education structure, including its regulation and governance, to create a new system that is aligned with the aspirational goals of 21st century education. Friends, this new National Education Policy 2020 is the first educational policy in our 21st century, because before that we had a National Education Policy on 1986, which was again edited or changed on 1992 and it was named as Program of Action, which is basically, now we can say that National Education Policy basically focused on primary education like school education, foundational education, and this its purpose is basically revamping and restructuring the all aspect of educational structure from the primary to higher education system. Previous policy. So what was the previous policy? The implementation of previous policies on education has focused largely on issues of access and equity. As I told, National Education Policy 1986 focused on basically on issue of access and equity. The unfinished agenda of the National Policy on Education 1986 modified in 1992 and is appropriately dealt with in this policy. A major development since the last policy of 1986 or 92 has been the Right of Children to Free and Compulsory Education Act 2009, which laid down legal underpinning for achieving universal elementary education. Friends, Right to Education Act was the age difference, the age range was 6 to 14, which has been changed now according to new National Education Policy 2020. It has become from 3 to 18 years. I have already discussed this point in the highlighted point in previous video. You can check, friends. The purpose of the education system is to develop good human beings capable for rational thought and action, possessing compassion and empathy, courage and resilience, scientific temper and creative imagination, with sound ethical moral and values. It aims at producing engaged, productive and contributing citizens for building an equitable, inclusive and plural society as envisaged by our Constitution. So let's see what are the principles of this policy. Recognizing, identifying and fostering the unique capabilities of each students. Means, according to new educational policy, students, as we know, every student has individual quality, individual ability. So first principle says about we should or teachers should recognize, identify and fostering that unique capabilities of each student. Means here National Education Policy focused on individual capacity by sensitizing teachers as well as parents to promote each student's holistic development in both academic and non-academic spheres. Friends, first principle says about the holistic development of the child, and it should be done by both teachers and parents, and it should be like teachers should sensitize and teacher and parent both should recognize their individual capacity, individual ability of each student. Second principle says about according the highest priority to achieving foundational literacy and numeracy by all students by grade 3. Flexibility so that learners have the ability to choose their learning trajectories and programs and thereby choose their own path in life according to their talent and interest. Means friends, before what happened, parents or teachers are like gave suggestions about their career choosing and about the subject choosing. Means if a student has good knowledge on mathematics, then teacher says about you should take mathematics because you are good in that subject. But that time we don't see the interest of the child. So here principal says third principle says that there should be flexibility for the student so that each learners have the ability to choose their learning trajectories and programs. Means we should give them like freedom, like flexibility, so that they can choose their subject or programs according to their choice for their future. Next, no hard separations between arts and science, between curricular and extracurricular activities, between vocational and academic streams, etc. in order to eliminate harmful hierarchies among and silos between different areas of learning. This principle says about there should not be no hard separation. I had discussed this point on the highlighted point also. It means students have the flexibility. Students they should not mandatory to choose the subject. Like if a student will enter into the science stream, then it is not mandatory to take only science subjects. If that student is more good on history, or if that student has more interest on geography, then that student can take history geography with the science subject. So it means there should not be any hard separation between the subjects arts, science or any kind of subject, and rather that also there should not be hard separation between curricular and extracurricular activities and vocational and academic streams. Means with the academic streams, student can choose vocational education also for their career. Next, multidisciplinarity and a holistic education across the sciences, social science, arts, humanities and sports for a multidisciplinarity world in order to ensure the unity and integrity of all knowledge. Friends, have you noticed or not, I don't know, but in national education policy, new national education policy focused much more in basic things, like for example, for one thing is foundational education, like primary education, like it has been mixed the Anganwadi with the education system as a primary education, pre-primary education. Then it has been focused on no hard rule for the separation. There should not be any separation between different kinds of streams or subjects. Then multidisciplinarity also one focus point here, because multidisciplinarity means students have the flexible. They should be free to choose different. Multidisciplinary means different kinds of different disciplines. It's not mandatory to fix or to bound or to limit on one kind of discipline. Next, because through multidisciplinarity we can say the student can get different kinds of knowledge, means integrity of knowledge, means not like only science knowledge or arts knowledge. Student can get different areas knowledge. Students have developed different knowledge related to different areas. Okay, leave that. Next point is emphasis on conceptual understanding rather than rote learning and learning for exams. Means next principle says about students we should emphasis on their conceptual understanding, how much student grasps, how much knowledge they gain, or how much they know, how much they can use that knowledge in their practical real life. Not only they will learn only for the sake of mark or for the sake of examination. They should learn for their development of knowledge, conceptual knowledge, and development of and use application of that knowledge in their daily life. Creativity and critical thinking to encourage logical decision making and innovations. Different kinds of innovations, and for developing their decision making ability, creative and critical thinking is needed. And national education policy says about this point that students should how students should develop their creativity and critical thinking. Because for example, in a classroom there are so many students who are talented, who have creativity inside them, and who have critical thinking also, but they don't use this thing because they don't get that opportunity or that chance. So if we will give that kind of environment to them, then they should show their creativity. Ethics and human and constitutional values like empathy, respect for others, cleanliness, courtesy, democratic spirit, spirit of service, respect for public property, scientific temper, liberty, responsibility, pluralism, equality, and justice. Those are basically values, different kinds of values, human and constitutional values. But in case, like for example, pedagogy says about some case like every kind of subject or every kind of topic should have some particular values. Like mathematics should have mathematics develop the values like discipline, problem solving skill, like punctuality, time saving. So different kinds of values. So like mathematics, there are different kinds of subjects have different values. So this principle says about ethics and human constitutional values, empathy, respect for as a human, as a social being, we should live in the society and we should have that kind of values. We should possess that kind of values so that we can use that values. We can show empathy, so we can be understand to others' feelings. We can be respect to our different kinds of public property, or we can develop our scientific temper, so responsibility. So these are some kind of values that every student should have possess, because they have to, after the education, they have to live in their society. Promoting multilingualism and the power of language in teaching and learning. This principle says that in school or in education system, we should promote multilingualism system, because like it has been focused on 3 languages, like from the till 5 class we should use the mother tongue or regional language, any kind of regional language, or it can be preferably be extended to 8 class according to national education policy. Multilingualism helps students to know to get knowledge about different kinds of knowledge, so that it can be help also them for their future. Life skills such as communication, cooperation, teamwork, and resilience. Life skills is most important, because for living in the world we should we need actually life skills, different kinds of life skills. Without life skills we can't live. So for that, national education policy says life skills such as communication skill, cooperation, teamwork, and resilience needed. Next, focus on regular formative assessment for learning rather than the summative assessment that encourages today's coaching culture. Means, as we know, assessment is of different kinds of, but we are basically focused on formative and summative. And in school education or education system, formative assessment is continuously we are doing, but in assessment in case of summative assessment, like after the any completion of a semester, we can say that after the completion of a new unit also we take the exam for summative, means after the end of the session. But here national education policy says about we should focus more on formative assessment, because by formative assessment we can assess the student regularly, and we can get knowledge about their understanding level or their development or their thinking capacity, so that for after knowing this thing we can apply or we can change our pedagogy also. Extensive use of technology in teaching and learning, removing language barriers, increasing access for Divyang students, and educational planning and management. Means with education also we should have extensive use of technology, because in teaching learning process, as we know, we are living in a technology world today. So students have knowledge about the technology. Not only knowledge, students have knowledge about how to use that technology. So it is more important point. Respect for diversity and respect for the local context in all curriculum, pedagogy, and policy, always keeping in mind the education is a concurrent subject. As I told in pedagogy videos also, role of a teacher or role of education system should have to connect their knowledge, like text knowledge with it to their real life knowledge. And for that we should respect the diversity and respect of the local context, and we should student will give respect to the local context when they will came to know that their use. And our education system is the, we can say that, a best field for them to know about this thing. Full equity and inclusion as the cornerstone of all educational decisions, to ensure that all students are able to thrive in the education system. And this principle says about inclusive education means we should give equity. There should be full equity and inclusion in the education system, so that all kinds of students are able to thrive the education system. Next, synergy in curriculum across all levels of education, from early childhood care and education to school education to higher education, means there should be correlation between different kinds of education system, like from the early childhood to higher education system. Teachers and faculty as the heart of the learning process, their recruitment, continuous professional development, positive working environment and service conditions. Friends, teachers, as we know, education system, the development of education systems is fully depends on the teachers. And if we will focus, it is more important to give our attention to the teachers development. And teachers development can be possible by the professional development of the teacher. And we can say that for it is, this point says about teacher education actually. So for the teachers development, for their continuously professional development, we should be focused. A light but tight regulatory framework to ensure integrity, transparency and resource efficiency of the educational system through audit and public disclosure, while encouraging innovation and out of the box ideas through autonomy, good governance and empowerment. A light but tight means here there should be integrity, transparency, and means there should not be anything which no one can understand. There should be transparency and integrity in educational system. Outstanding research as a core quest for outstanding education and development. Outstanding research means this principle focused on the research field. Means outstanding research, like any kind of research we are taking, not like that. If we have to develop our education system, then we have to focus on outstanding research, like more advanced research, more new things we have to focus. Continuous review of progress based on sustained research and regular assessment by educational expert. Means by educational expert we have to focus on continuous review of progress by the regular we can say that assessment by the help of educational experts. A rootedness and pride in India and its rich, diverse, ancient and modern culture and knowledge system and traditions. Education is a public service. Access to quality education must be considered a basic right of every child. Means there should not be no one who we can say that should set or should have the everyone should have the right to education, and it is a public service. No one can, we can say that, stop them to read or to learn. So it should be access and quality education must be considerable as a right for every child. Substantial investment. Substantial investment in a strong, vibrant public education system, as well as the encouragement and facilitation of true philanthropy, private and community participation. So friends, these are some points regarding the principles of national education policy. I hope I have covered all things in national education policy, not exactly all things, because all things is we can't cover in 2 videos, but still I have tried and I have given my level best for making you understand about national education policy. I think I have completed some points which people are facing in different kinds of exams. You can get from principles, and that 20 highlight points you can get easily, because in highlighted points I have given so much things and which you will face in your examination. Hope you understand this thing better. And thank you. And if any doubt, you can raise your question, and please like and subscribe my channel. Thank you. Have a nice day.